I'm Yesenia Taveras, and welcome to La Conexión, The Connection, a television show that seeks to connect the Hispanic community to programs and services in support of them. On today's show, we'll be taking a look at some of the changes in the GED test. We'll also speak with Jocelyn Rodriguez, who is one of the star athletes for the Girls Delaware State Championship team. And we're also going to take a look at one of Delaware's first Hispanic magazines. But first, I have here with us a council member of the 3rd District, Darius Brown. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. And Faith Shivey, who is also the coordinator at the Latin American Community Center for the GED preparation classes that are taking place there as well. We're going to start off with Darius Brown, Councilmember Brown. I wanted to ask you more or less, recently you had a press conference held at the YMCA on Walnut Street. Why did you find the need to hold this type of press conference to get the word out about the GED test?
Upon starting the 106th session of Wilmington City Council, I wanted to address issues around poverty in the city of Wilmington. And so we began our work through creating pathways out of poverty. And those pathways are through 2 different areas. One is education and the other is employment. There's a lot of dialogue around which one comes first, the chicken or the egg, and we make the argument that, or I make the argument that it is important for us to get a good foundation around education so that we can ensure that we have employment opportunities that are available to our residents in the city of Wilmington. And so in February, we did a public awareness event at the Walnut Street YMCA around the GED and the changes in the testing. And that program was a partnership between myself as the councilman for the 3rd District and also the Walnut Street YMCA, the Delaware Department of Education, and some other partners that are also providing GED classes throughout the city of Wilmington.
Now, you're one of the main council members who's really taking this initiative to heart. Is there a reason behind that? Are there more students dropping out in your district, or is it just you trying to really reach out to all the constituents?
The push is to create pathways out of poverty, understanding the challenges we have in the city of Wilmington around poverty and the residents that live at or below the poverty line. I understand that to provide upward mobility for them, they need to be better educated. And the beginning of that education is to ensure that they graduate from high school or that they complete a GED. And so that's the crust or the thrust of why we've done this, and the work that we're doing is continue to encourage residents that have been disconnected from the traditional educational system to reconnect and acquire the GED before the test changes in 2014.
And can you tell us a little bit about what changes are we going to see in this GED test?
The current GED test and the changes that are coming in 2014, some of the changes will be the fee for the testing. The fee will be $120 beginning in 2014. In addition to the fee change, there will also be changes around the actual test. The test will become computer-based. And also the state of Delaware has adopted some Common Core standards which will make the test more rigorous. So the traditional questions around multiple choice and Circle 1 will be changed to more short answer. And in addition to that, also Algebra 2 will be added to the GED test. And so even me, admittedly, being disconnected from high school some years ago, that I know that Algebra 2 was something that if I had to take it now, I would definitely have to study for. So I understand the challenges that residents face, and we're encouraging them to get into one of the GED sites. I want to stress that the GED sites are free. Okay. And so it's important for residents to get into these free sites, to take advantage of the classes and the opportunity that's available to them so that they, again, can ensure that they have economic mobility for themselves, for their families, which includes the children that they have. It's important for the residents to get this because it helps them get a job where they can take care of themselves and their families. And with that, it allows us to have a more vibrant and sustainable neighborhood.
And with you mentioning the test now going to be taken on the computer, what advice do you have for those who will be taking the test and aren't really computer literate?
Again, that's why you have the free sites, and within those free sites, there are staff members there that are able to help you in addition to just the GED test, but to support you in becoming more computer literate. It's a challenge that many of us face in this very social media interconnected world that we live in, that we have to be more computer literate and computer savvy in how we communicate with one another. And so for those that don't necessarily have those skills, or those skills aren't at the level that they need to be to support them in taking the test, there is staff readily available to them at the site to support that.
And lastly, Councilmember Brown, there are some states who are currently looking at having a different company or an alternative for this type of testing, so that way the cost of the price for the test could be lower. Do you know of Delaware trying to take this initiative, possibly in the future, maybe offering a different alternative?
Delaware has adopted the existing Common Core standards, and so this will be the test for the state of Delaware. Any conversation that outside of that is something that would have to take place. But for me, it's not about what alternative we may try to create. It's about what we know is existing, what's coming down the pipeline, and making sure that we prepare the residents for that. In addition to that, I just want to encourage residents, if they need more information, to please visit the adult education page on the Delaware Department of Education website. You can always contact me in council office at 302-576-2140, or follow me on Twitter at Darius J. Brown.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown.
You're welcome.
And with us, we also have Faith, and she is one of the coordinators at the Latin American Community Center, where currently they do have GED preparation classes. Can you tell us a little bit about these type of classes that the LACC is offering?
What we're offering is a preparation class that's done in Spanish, because the GED test is offered in Spanish, and so we're attempting to help bridge the gap between students that are Spanish speaking but don't have any alternatives, like where to go to study. So we started these classes, and we have them on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday nights, and students can come and take the preparation class in Spanish, and we use Spanish materials.
Okay, and how important is it for those who are only Spanish speaking to take part of this preparation class? Because some may feel that they don't need the preparation class. Why is it important to take one like this?
Well, many of our students are immigrants who come from other countries, and their schooling is different. In the sense that in the American schools, in the United States English schools type thing, we prepare students for multiple choice, how to pull information out of a question, and how to utilize time in timed tests, where in many other countries that's not of a focus. And so we help to teach those type of strategies, those test-taking strategies that they may not be familiar with. And we also stress the importance of taking it in Spanish, in your native language. So this way you're not having to translate, because it takes a lot of time to read the test and to answer the questions. But then to have to translate, it's a lot of brain work.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And about how long are these classes, and how many students do you have participating currently?
We have started the classes in February, and we're planning on going on like an ongoing, so students can drop in. We've been meeting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings, and they hopefully will just continue to cycle, so that if a student were to start tonight, they may jump in the middle, but if they have the book, they are able to review with what we've already done, and they can also preview or look ahead to what we're going to be doing.
And who teaches these classes?
We have volunteers from our community. Right now we have a couple who are from Colombia, and they're both college educated in their country, so they're fluent in Spanish, and they are familiar with these type of tests. We also work with the Latin American tutoring program at the University of Delaware, and we have a fluent teacher in Spanish who also is familiar with testing and can also share her strategies.
And so that is a huge benefit of having these teachers with this, not only knowing how to speak Spanish, but understanding our culture and how we take the tests and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And now, can you tell us a little bit about the curriculum?
Well, I can. We are using this book. It's the McGraw-Hill's GED in Espanol, and it covers the 5 different tests along with the composition or the essay that's required to be written. Okay. So the teachers are working through this. They're using this as their guide so that the students can take this home and study, and they can use this as a guide, but not as necessarily the curriculum.
Okay. And lastly, before we leave, can you tell us and remind us the need of having this type of preparation class in the Wilmington area?
Well, the GED test is changing, and so also with the immigration acts that are going on in in government right now, in Congress, and with the deferred action. It's being enrolled in a GED program offers them a part of, I guess, the requirements for deferred action, and also it offers more opportunities. If you have your GED, then it's an increase in pay, perhaps. It's an increase in position or leveling at your current job. And it can definitely just promote an atmosphere of embracing education. If children see their mom and dad studying, they're going to study.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Faith, for your time. And Councilmember Brown, it's an honor to have you. You're one of our first council members here on this show. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay tuned for We'll Return after these short messages.